Hello everybody and welcome back to another Oscar prediction video where today I will be taking a look at the category of Best Original Screenplay. Now, I'm aware that it's taken a long time to get to the screenplay categories because honestly, these ones are pretty tight. I think and in the case of original screenplay, it's a very close two-horse race with 3 through 5 being respectable runners-up. Let's not waste any more time and get right into it. Fifth most likely to win is Triangle of Sadness. So this screenplay was written by Ruben Östlund, who's also nominated for directing. In fact, all 5 of the nominees this year are nominated for directing, which is pretty interesting. And it's funny because a lot of people were not predicting this film to be nominated for picture or director, but the screenplay nomination was what a lot of people had it getting on for. Ruben Östlund, of course, well known for both Force Majeure and The Square, and this is his first English language film. And the fact that the film was well liked enough to get a Best Picture nomination, I think is telling, because to put it very bluntly, it doesn't have any serious chance of winning picture or director, and this technically is the category it has the best chance of winning, but I still have it number 5, because even though the movie has shown to have been well liked, not everybody is head over heels in love with this film. I think a lot of people have the idea that, everything that happens on the boat is really good, but then once it gets to the island, it kind of loses me. And so I think people like this script, and I think people like what it's saying about class, but it only has one significant precursor win for screenplay, and that is EFA. Not even sure what that is, but I just can't see this script winning over the competition. And if the competition were a little bit weaker, then maybe, but as of right now, it would be pretty shocking. In a world where literally all 10 of the Best Picture nominees win something on Oscar night, that's pretty much the only scenario I can possibly see this movie winning in screenplay, but I don't think that's going to happen. Fourth most likely to win is The Fablements. Now, this movie initially went into Oscar season looking like it was going to be the big frontrunner, and a lot of people did fall for that notion. The screenplay in particular, being written by Steven Spielberg and Tony Kushner, I believe this might actually be Spielberg's first writing credit, because he's basing it off of his own childhood, and there certainly is a narrative there. However, I feel like the love for this film has slowly dwindled over time, and while there have been some people passionately defending this movie, others look at it as just Spielberg just making a movie about his childhood instead of going to therapy. And without necessarily picking one side or the other, the fact that this is the only of the nominees that has not won a single precursor prize in the lead up to this, I would be very shocked if this actually managed to win. Plus, some aspects of the writing have been criticized. It just feels a little bit too sentimental and a little bit too schmaltzy. I just don't think that this could actually win. The fact that it's clearly not winning Best Picture at this stage basically tells you all that you know. If this was going to win somewhere, it would have won at the Globes, because they gave it picture and director, but it didn't win there, and it didn't win anywhere else. Sorry, Steven Spielberg, but you're going to have to sit this particular contest out. Third most likely to win is Tar. Now, this screenplay actually won a pretty significant amount of precursors, including the Gotham and LAFTA. And this seems to be like a pretty solid number 3 choice in a race where 1 and 2 are very close, which would seem to indicate that it's not impossible that this came up from behind and won. And I think the screenplay has been praised pretty heavily for the way it depicts cancel culture and the way that it wrote Cate Blanchett's character Lydia Tarr to feel like a real person. I think there's a lot of people who are big fans of what this screenplay is able to do and the conversations that it's able to start. However, again, it's there. As I said earlier, there is a very clear 1 and 2 in this race based on what's been winning at all of the major precursors. If Tar had just won, then maybe, but I feel like the script, while it is praised, it's not the aspect of the film that has been praised the most. That aspect goes to Cate Blanchett's performance and possibly the direction. I think people really, really like this screenplay, but I don't think they love it enough to give it the win over the competition. And speaking of which, second most likely to win is The Banshees of Inisherin. So this screenplay has won the BAFTA and it has won the Golden Globe. And on top of that, it's also won a pretty significant amount of critics' wins. So the thing is, this could very easily win. The movie overall is very well liked, 9 nominations, and it's probably the most writerly of all the nominees. It's the film with the most quotable dialogue and most memorable dialogue, and that usually gives a film a leg up in this category. Written, of course, by Martin McDonagh, who was nominated for In Bruges and nominated for 3 Billboards, came pretty close to winning for 3 Billboards, but lost to Get Out. And for some reason, I can't help but feel that history is going to repeat itself again. I think that this would be a deserving winner, certainly, but looking at the numbers and looking at the films, it's a shame, because if this screenplay was inadapted, he would be winning very easily. But unfortunately, it's not, and so I think Martin McDonagh is going to have to sit this race out yet again, because number 1 most likely to win is Everything Everywhere All at Once. So this movie has won WGA as well as Critics' Choice Awards. And the funny thing is, I just talked about 3 Billboards. The year of 3 Billboards, that movie won Globe and BAFTA, but Get Out won Critics' Choice and WGA. So it's literally history repeating itself here, and Everything Everywhere, much like Get Out, is the more original movie, is the more creative premise, which I think really does help. Plus, Everything Everywhere, much more so than Get Out, is in a really, really good position to actually win Best Picture. It's the frontrunner at this stage. It's weird that early on, when the movie first came out, people were saying, oh, this is too weird for the Oscars, this would be lucky to get a lone Best Screenplay nomination. Well, it got that screenplay nomination and a bunch more, and now that it's actively considered the frontrunner to win picture, it would be really, really weird for it to win picture and lose screenplay, considering the kind of movie that it is. And it's not impossible that it loses. I think the Banshees screenplay is really, really well liked, but at this point, the love and the passion for Everything Everywhere is just so big, and it's peaking at the exact right time, and nothing seems to be able to take it down. So I have to believe that this movie will take screenplay with it. It's funny, if there was ever a year to bring back a tie at the Oscar race, it would be this year in this category, because both screenplays for Everything Everywhere and Banshees are really, really good, and both would be worthy winners. But as of right now, I can't predict the tie, I have to predict the winner, and I do think that winner will be Everything Everywhere. So, thank you very much for watching, and be sure to tune in next time where I will be taking a look at the category of Best Makeup and Hairstyling. See you then.